What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jazzy Faux and freaking Fanny Slam coming at you with the Faux The Streamers new episode. But this time we've got an amazing guest known as Whippy. And why don't you go ahead and spell that for us, Whippy? And then, of course, give us a plug really quick before we get into it. Tell us about yourself and where we can find you.
Kia ora koutou. I'm Whippy. I'm a Lego streamer from Aotearoan, New Zealand. I'm just up the road from Fanny Slam. Sort of the same neck of the woods, next town over sort of thing. So yeah, we've caught up a couple of times. But I stream on Twitch. I build Lego.
Wow, it's a lot
bit of a Star Wars nerd. Yeah, and I kind of can't lean over any further because I lean into a stack of them again.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we stream Lego. It's an awesome little community on Twitch. Very supportive, and yeah, it's a great community to be a part of, and I just enjoy being a part of it and representing it in some ways when I can.
So would you say your main category on Twitch is like, what was it, arts and crafts, or what is it called?
Makers and crafting. That's what I predominantly stream in, makers and crafting. Although, yeah, it is nice now that there is a Lego tag.
Oh, is there? Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yes. Well, you can make any tag that you want, and everyone uses Lego.
No Lego category, though.
No category, no. However, you do have to scroll through a lot of Lego Fortnite before you find someone building Lego.
Yeah.
That was a new come up just recently, so it's made discovery a little bit more difficult. But everyone knows how to find it. But for the newer people looking for Lego, it's a little bit tougher.
So let me ask a quick question about Lego. As a main Lego building streamer, what happens when you run out of Lego?
You take it apart and start again.
You just take it apart and like, really? Is that what you? Is that just what you do? Or
generally, you try not to run out. And Lego streaming's not for the faint of heart. You have to be committed, and you have to be prepared to spend a lot more on your streams than the average streamer probably does.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're building a $100 Lego set over 2 or 3 streams, then you're really sinking a lot of money into it. But in reality, we're probably all buying that Lego anyway, so it's not so bad. But you're certainly not going to get rich in the early days streaming Lego. It's quite the opposite. It'll bankrupt you.
yeah, but I imagine it was a hobby before you streamed, right? So yeah, it kind of
yeah. I mean, I kind of knew I was going to begin streaming Lego, so I kind of stopped building Lego for a while before I started, which was probably the best thing. I got the backlog going, and it was probably the best thing because you're making sense on the dollar that you spend, basically.
Jesus.
If you're doing well.
So I gotta ask, how often do you stream to keep the Lego streams going? Like, what's your schedule?
So I stream weekly on a Wednesday night. It's part of the brick building raid train. We can talk about that a little bit more later.
Yeah, I can't. Well, yeah, we're definitely gonna ask about that.
Generally, a Wednesday night stream, a Friday night stream if I can, because I like to just crack open a beer and just relax and stream for as short or as long as I like. Obviously, being a part of a raid train's a little bit more structured. And then basically on weekends when I can fit around other family commitments, I'd love to stream more, and I'd love to stream more regularly. But I've had a few health issues lately, and I've also there's so many things. I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I'm a stay-at-home dad with teenagers who are 18 and 16. So you would think that I didn't have much to do, but it's the opposite. It's the total opposite.
The joy
very, very
parenthood.
Yeah.
Well, one more time, Whippy, how do we find you on Twitch? How do you spell your name? Just so we know. Exactly.
WHIPPY WHIPSTER. WhippyWhipster.
All right, just like it sounds. WhippyWhipster. No spaces, easy peasy. As always, we're going to ask questions. And if you don't feel comfortable answering any of them, that is a Okay. All right.
Fire away.
Why don't you freaking take these first ones?
Yeah, well, I feel like I have the best authority to ask questions because I was like there for the first stream that Whippy did.
Really?
I was an OG, yeah. Helped him set up the Discord, I mean, just gotta flex a little. But
Oh my gosh.
Whippy, what have you learned about streaming so far that you didn't realize before you started? And I know you started with like already you were up there. I came into the first stream and I was like, you've got all the gear, man. You look like a professional.
And I mean, I like I was saying before, I sat on the idea of streaming for a long time, and longer than I probably ought to have.
Yeah.
Initially, I didn't actually comes back to discoverability. I didn't actually know people were streaming Lego on Twitch.
Yeah.
So I thought I had this idea that like I was going to be one of the first people to do it.
You thought.
I thought, but I did what I do with most things before I jump in, and I spent, a lot of time watching a lot of streams, learning the ins and outs of Twitch. So I didn't want to come in here and make a dick of myself, right? I don't want to come in here and make all of these mistakes and not be engaging with the community and not learn from other people's mistakes, because I'm a historian and classicist trained, but one of the big things about that is if you don't learn from others, then you're doomed to repeat the same mistakes. Yep. So I spent a lot of time. I got involved in a lot of communities, especially New Zealand communities on Twitch, because it does feel like New Zealand streamers have a sort of a slightly different approach. We're a lot less out there and trying to self-promote and things like that. We're a lot more, hey guys, how you doing? I'm streaming next week. It'd be great if you come along. If not, that's cool too, we're a sort of very down to earth and not larger than life. When you meet a New Zealand streamer, you're meeting someone who could be living next door to you and that you've hung out with every day. And that's the sort of feeling you like to get from them. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's just not how New Zealanders are wired. So learning that, and definitely seeing some of the differences between Lego streamers, especially. There's the over the top stuff and there's the down to earth stuff. And I kind of wanted to get a feel for where I would fit in there with my personality and who I am. And I kind of try and be somewhere in the middle. That's kind of who I'm comfortable being. Some days I like to be a little bit lower. Some days I like to be a little bit more hype. And I think in general, a nice even keel is sort of what it is for me. So, what did I learn? I learned quite a bit going in before I started, and just about who I want to be. I feel like a lot of people get into streaming and they want to be someone else who already streams, or they want to be someone who they've seen on YouTube doing Let's Plays.
That's true. That's true.
And they will maybe find success, and eventually they'll either continue with that success and not be who they want to be, or that success will wane because they'll tire of it and not want to do it. I know of someone in the Lego building community who had success and did very well on YouTube with millions of views, and they were telling the story that it was a persona that they didn't want to carry on, so they gave that up, and now they stream Lego and they're enjoying it, and they're not enjoying the same numbers, but they're enjoying it a lot more.
Yeah, it's always, that plays back into two things that we said once was the one, the work-life balance, very important, and then two, authenticity.
And I said about 1,000 words, and Jazzy summarized it in one word: authenticity. So.
Well, it's okay. It's my job. You got to enjoy what you do, and that really just goes for any part of life too, not just streaming. If you don't enjoy it, how can you how can you expect others to enjoy it, or at least continue doing it yourself if you don't enjoy it, right? So
Yep. And I mean, I have a very lax schedule. There are people out there doing crazy hours on Twitch, and keeping that up.
Like who? Who would do crazy hours on
Keeping that
Twitch?
up is, yeah.
I find Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day minimum is pretty crazy, Jazzy.
Yeah, whew. Thank God I don't do that. Oh, I'm so busy.
Would you say that with all the research you've done and what your plan was for getting into streaming, has it changed since you actually started?
Research makes it sound like, I'm sitting there with a pad and paper taking notes and things. I wasn't. I was
You've got notes in your brain.
engaging. I was engaging in
It's a form of
Twitch
research.
community.
Yeah, you're still learning.
I was learning what it was about. I was laying the ropes.
How did you learn about Twitch?
Really?
I mean, I work in IT, or I did work in IT.
Okay.
I now am self-employed and do a couple of hours a week, and that's about it. I knew about Twitch when it first came out, so I've always sort of known it was there, but throughout life, it was for one reason or another not for me, or at least I felt like it wasn't for me. But certainly, over the last decade or so, the Twitch ecosystem has certainly gone through trials and sort of evolved into a much more welcoming landscape than it maybe used to be. If you look at maybe Kick could be considered a little bit of the Wild West at the moment, whereas Twitch is a little bit more civilized, and has a lot more protections built into the system to make it just a more wholesome place. I'm sure that if I went over to Kick and tried to stream Lego, I would probably get a very different response than what I get over here on Twitch.
Now, I don't want to be negative or pessimistic.
I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be realistic about demographics.
Negative. Okay,
Look,
I'm not
there are
trying
people
to
who
be
could
negative.
absolutely stream Lego on Kick and do a bang up job of it and do very well and be very popular, and I don't think it's me.
Fair enough.
I don't think you could. I feel like if you stream Lego on Kick, you'll probably get blasted by a whole bunch of 13-year-olds telling you to go get a job. This is what I feel. I'm sure there's a bunch of wholesome people as well. I know some of the wholesome people, but I know them because they also stream on Twitch. I've heard many mixed things about Kick, and most of it's I met awesome people, but my God, I have to deal with some awful people all the time, way more.
It's like the old Omegle, where you just go through a bunch of dicks until you found a genuine person to talk to.
Yeah, exactly.
Omega's another one of those ones that I thought, I knew was out there, and I just thought, it's not for me. It's not for me.
It's something you do when you're younger, is get on Omegle.
Yeah. You mentioned just before that you have two teenage daughters, was it?
Yep, 2 teenage.
So
Goodness gracious.
how do you? Crazy. You've got a lot on your plate with that.
I mean, there are people out there that have a lot more than I do.
It's true.
You
But
can
I
work with
find
the hand-me-downs.
true. Is it? How tough is it with raising a family and streaming?
And do they like Lego?
Good question.
One of them does. The other one tolerates it. I guess you could say.
Okay.
So the youngest, 16, she is very into her. She's got a boyfriend. Luckily, he's in another country. It's all.
Yes.
Well, this online world has its benefits.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend is in Australia.
Shotgun and kick him out of the room. And tear
Yeah,
out
All I need to do is pull a cable out of the router and
Yeah.
You didn't have to invest in the rocking chair for the front porch. It's all good.
So he's into cars. So she's now into cars. And the cheapest car you can get, well, not the cheapest car, you can get Hot Wheels, obviously. But she really likes the Speed Champions Lego sets. So she's got Lamborghinis, Ferraris. She's got the Fast and Furious Dodge. So yeah, she enjoys the car aspect of Lego.
That's
She
really
she used to be really into Harry Potter Lego, but our kids are very open minded, and yeah, J.K. Rowling isn't quite so much. So,
yeah, I'm not here to.
Kind of moved on from Harry Potter.
Not getting. Yeah, not gonna get into the whole thing now. But
Yeah.
She,
no, we won't. She should stream on Kick.
Oh my God, she should stream on Kick. I would go watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, I would participate.
Yeah.
Chat. Yeah.
And then there's the other one. The other one is very how would you describe AJ?
Oh,
Family?
I would describe them as a firstborn.
yeah. She's wild.
She is wild. Yeah, she's definitely part of the TikTok generation.
Oh,
and
yeah.
one evening she walked out into the lounge and she said, "Can I do your stream tonight?" And I went, "Yeah, sure." So
Well, can I just do your what?
there is a very interesting bit of history on our channel where she took over stream and everyone loved it. And
Yeah. It's good.
Incredible.
loved it a lot more than they would have had I been doing it. So it was
Sure, that's not true.
She was more into the streaming than into the Lego, but she made a good go of selling the Lego. So good on her.
Yeah, props to her. Do you think she'll get into streaming?
Yes, but I don't know when. Our oldest daughter, she won't mind me talking about this because we talked about whether or not I can talk about this. But she dealt with a lot of depression. She dealt with self-harm, and she's dealt with attempts to take her own life. So we've done it tough at times. Nowhere near as tough as she's doing it. But I can attest to, sleeping in the hallway outside her room because we want to know if she's leaving her room in the middle of the night, sort of thing. And funnily enough, and this isn't like some weird sort of puff twist, but Twitch was something that I was using a lot to get through all of that. So I was in communities, hanging out, on my phone, sleeping on a mattress in the hallway and chatting with people and just, staying engaged instead of sitting in a hallway with my own thoughts, worrying around the clock. I was there physically and doing that, and mentally I was able to engage in something else, which was super helpful for me personally. Other people, it might not be the way, but for me, it meant that I could give myself physically to the task at hand and mentally get that little bit of escapism, be a part of a community, laugh with people, have a good time. And meanwhile, my daughter knew that if she had any issues at night, if, any messages came through and she needed, she felt bad and needed me, she knew that I was right there as well. How do you deal with it? You make everything work together. If it's not working together, then it's, it's all working against one another, and it's not, it's not for you. But if you can find these ways to make things support what you're doing, then I see it as an absolute positive.
I like that. You've got a good balance.
I like that. Yeah, it's exactly the work-life balance we're talking about, right? But I think he said something that's even more important, which is make it all work for each other, right? Like, it's all good to have your work-life balance, your work, your life, keep it separate, easy peasy. But if you can feed them into each other where they help each other grow kind of thing as well, that's also great. And like an example of that for me would be like how I have Foxy like on my streams, right? And everyone loves her, right? So it's like, she's like, I don't want to say using, but you say using. It's like using my relationship to feed into my streams, but then also that's feeding into my relationship because we're spending time doing something fun together, right? So, like, that's something that you should try and look to do. I mean, obviously, if you work like an office job, maybe don't like bring your wife to the office kind of thing. You know, I don't know how you're gonna feed that into your job, but like if you are doing streaming or content creation, you know, Faux The Streamers, but if you are doing content creation, it's something that you can try and do. Not only have your work-life balance, but have them like feed into each other in like a positive way. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, part of that whole content creation, you know, that standard that everyone's going for is the ability to be your own boss and to work your own hours and to make everything work for you. So absolutely, get the family involved. Don't take advantage of them, but get them involved so that everyone's happy in a positive way, and you'll get to be a part of something together.
I just thought that fed into the next question, where you're saying, you know, a career out of it. Would you say your streams are more of a hobby right now, or is this turning into something that you can actually pay your bills with?
Facts.
Yeah. At the moment, I can absolutely attest that I cannot pay my bills with Twitch payouts.
Fair enough.
What if you weren't buying Legos?
Maybe.
So at the moment, the Twitch payouts sort of go on Twitch Turbo, because that's fantastic to be able to give back to lots of streams without having to pay, you know, 7 or 8 subscriptions like I was doing back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but God, Turbo's it's so good.
It is.
I always feel bad because
everyone to sub to you, but then you're using Turbo for everyone.
Yeah, it's like I completely everyone wants the sub, but man, I get it. I can't be paying a sub for like 40 different people.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's you do get the emote FOMO from time to time. So you see an emote and you got to have it, so you drop a sub. But in general now, I'm definitely trying to streamline my expenses quite a bit. As I was saying, you know, I had good jobs and I've walked away from them because of work-life balance. And then last year, I got back into work again, but I had to give it up due to health. And the basic gist of that is I'm pretty sure it's long COVID type of stuff. I'm often very foggy and I get vertigo. So I might even like come out here to stream and be in front of my computer desk and just all of a sudden not be able to stream. It comes and goes. Some days it's great and I can do all sorts. I can spend all day catching up in the garden because when I'm feeling better, that's the sort of stuff I have to do. You know,
I love that.
Stay at home, Dad, and your lawns aren't mowed. What the hell are you doing? and my friends will let me know. So
we got water restrictions now. You can let your lawn go.
We don't. We're outside your region.
Dang.
And we got water meters years ago.
Wow. Crazy.
And the fun thing was I was working for the local council at the time, so we were super popular. I would love for it to be able to be a career, but it wouldn't be a career based on Twitch streaming alone. There's a fantastic Lego community on Twitch, but there's nowhere near the numbers at the moment to support me being a Twitch streamer full time. Perhaps if I shifted times and things like that and worked to try and, you know, capture the American market a little bit more and things like that. But again, that would be very heavily changing who I am when I stream, how it fits into the family dynamic and things like that.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Streaming from New Zealand. Yeah. Streaming from New Zealand, we catch the very end of the West Coast.
Yep.
We get New Zealand and Australia, and you know, depending on the time, you get a few people waking up in the UK or Europe. So it's I'm not under any illusion that Twitch streaming will be a full-time job, but content creation would be an amazing thing to be able to do full time. And it would mean getting into YouTube. It would mean creating TikToks, doing all these things that scare the hell out of me. But,
Get outside that comfort
I
zone.
would get a lot of help. I would definitely get a lot of help because we've got a TikToker in the family who does all right.
Is she looking for a job as a social media manager?
Yes, she is. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm just
Should hook
sliding
you guys up.
just slide into those DMs. All right. I need someone who was raised on that TikTok generation, to help me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, she was on it when it was Musically. So yeah.
Oh,
An OG.
man. Yeah, Jesus.
Yep.
Tell us about this brick building raid train. You mentioned it a few times. I want to know about this. Tell me everything.
So we have a brick builders raid train. It begins in the UK with Jake Studs. Then heads over to Boston, Massachusetts. No, it doesn't. It heads to Texas with
That's where
Shipwreck
Jazzy's
Bricks.
from.
Wow. From
Is
where
it?
I'm living now to where I was from.
Well, there you go. We're doing it in reverse. Yes, head over to Texas to Shipwreck Bricks, then back to Boston, Massachusetts with Sapiens, who is kind of like the goddaddy of our little raid train, kind of keeps us all in check and makes us report in from time to time. Then it comes to me in New Zealand, and then after my stint, we head over to I Am Billsy, who normally has his mate Bilzer, so Australian, I Am Billsy and Bilzer, and they work together too, these guys.
crazy.
And one's a Lego Masters Australia former contestant,
Yeah.
and
that's
the
cool.
other one's his mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually got my spot because Dan, who was a Lego Masters New Zealand contestant, gave up streaming. He'd been doing it for like 5 years, and he'd kind of done everything he wanted to do with it, and chucked it in, and then sent me a little, "Hey, do you want to be involved in this?" And I was like, yeah, I really do. Yeah, so we do have a streamer community,
Yeah.
the brick building community, and we are a group of streamers that are a part of that larger community. And we invariably will invite other people in to fill slots when some of us can't stream on that particular day. So there's actually even there's quite a few Lego brick building raid trains. This is the thing about, they're not called the brick building raid train.
Raid train.
They're not
You
called the
read
brick.
each other.
That's
What is a raid train?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so one person streams and then they raid the next person, and it's all scheduled. And so stops on a train, So someone streams for 3 hours, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and the community just moves along with the raid
Yeah.
the whole way.
And I love
So
it because when I'm part of it, I can just, any time of day, if I start in the morning and go till night, it's just like I'm always watching Lego. And there are always similar faces in chat, but we're all supporting each other, and we just end up in places, and it's great.
Oh, let's see. That's so
Yeah.
interesting. Because I feel like I'm on the other end of the spectrum. But I've never been involved in a raid train, but I've been raided by raid trains that I didn't know I was participating in.
Well, they're going to end up somewhere.
Yeah,
probably.
exactly. Yeah, they're gonna end up somewhere. But I don't know. It always just felt so weird to me. It was just like this foreign community I've never been a part of just raided me, and then they're like, but then they wouldn't stick around for like 3 hours like you guys. They'd stick around for like 10 minutes and be like, "All right, we raided you. See ya. We're moving on." And I'd just be like, "What? Like, what the hell just happened?" Like, I don't understand.
yeah, and I mean, if at the end of a raid train we raided someone who wasn't streaming Lego, that would almost certainly happen as well. But if you were streaming Lego, you've got people love Dark Souls,
Yeah.
and if you're in a Dark Souls stream and it raids into someone else playing Dark Souls, you can bet a good proportion of that community is going to stick around and give that person advice or tell them how much they suck, and
Nice.
and have good time with it. And it's the same with Lego. If you're building Lego, then everyone will want to know your thoughts on the set that you're building, and what your favorite set is, what kind of themes you're into, all those sorts of things. And it's really good too, because for a smaller streamer who hasn't had a big community come in on and then on the raid before, the community's kind of experienced with it and know how to engage that person and
That's
get them to come out of their shell and really talk to them.
It's really
and
lovely.
I've seen it so many times now. We will pick up these new streamers, and there's even a few people who are kind of dedicated to going out and making it known that so and so has started streaming and they're streaming Lego. You know, they've got 25 followers. Everyone go and give them a follow, and we'll get them to affiliate, and we'll get them set up, and we'll all give them all the support that they need to be successful. And then all they need to do is be themselves and have fun with it. They don't have to, I feel like there's probably, a good percentage of really good streamers out there who just never get that discoverability.
Yeah.
They might be in the corner of Twitch streaming a game that no one is interested in. And when people actually come in, they are totally engaged. They are hilarious. They have a really good time. And that one person that they're talking with will come back and support them a few times.
Yep.
But with no one else ever coming into the chat, then it sort of falls away. So getting that momentum in the first instance, getting that stone rolling, it's something that the Lego community actually does really, really well.
I want to ask, do you multi-stream?
I don't, but the main reason that I don't is purely because it would be too many things for me to keep on top of at the moment.
That's fair. That's fair. So, but in the future, would it be something that you would want to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying,
stream to what platforms?
YouTube and TikTok.
Okay.
At the moment, maybe if I was sensible, Instagram.
Oh,
yeah.
Instagram.
So
not not like Twitter or Kick or something.
Twitter in New Zealand, it's not really a thing, eh?
No.
Yeah, that's true.
We might as well be South Korea or something. It's
y'all got shafted by the.
If I go back to the beginning of this, if I go back to the beginning of this interview and I, talk about how New Zealanders are wired, we are not wired to sit there and yell things out to everyone to see what comes back. That's just not us. We'll DM someone and go, "Oh, that's pretty cool, eh?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, hard." And that's it. That's what we do instead of tweeting.
Fair enough.
Or we'll share something and not comment on it at all, but just share it with Facebook or something.
Yeah.
I don't use Facebook, but I cannot stand it.
That's fair.
Instagram does have a lot of Lego content on it.
Really? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And
Actually, they have a lot of
discoverability is really
crafting.
good.
Yeah, they have a lot of crafting stuff. On
Yeah.
this stuff, though. So that's
Discoverability is really good too. So if you follow one Lego person, you're just going to get suggested lots more Lego people.
It's
So
great how Instagram does that, because I have an Instagram solely for my work, which is like miniatures and clay and resin. And so I just follow one cute little miniature maker, and now my timeline's full of just people making miniatures. It's good for inspiration and ideas and techniques.
You pull in fairly large numbers for such a quote-unquote new streamer, the 1st of May, 2022.
I read that in the notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put that in there. I slip that in.
What do you think helped attribute to your growth? Do you think mainly it was this brick raiding party, or do you think it was like your own electrifying personality?
Okay, so one is on my screen sitting above me. Fanny on my very first stream came in and joined and sparked up a conversation, got really engaged, and it was fantastic. And then they brought Shayla over for a raid. Shayla, wasn't it?
Nice.
Yep. And straight away we had 20 or 30 people in chat.
Yep.
Really engaged and just making me feel really good about myself. And, I could have seen so many different ways that stream would have gone. And that was like the 1%, cherry on the top, absolutely perfect. I mean, other things went wrong. I had issues with cameras and stuff because of my first stream and stuff was timing out. Getting lots of people in, people following, people chatting and being supportive.
Really gave that motivation.
It just did so much for the mindset, you know.
So you said you did a lot of research on mistakes, but what mistakes did you fall into anyway, despite your research?
Made him
I
think.
spent too much money before I started streaming.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. And that's,
Yeah.
we've said that before too. You don't need all that equipment, right? He said
Yep.
he just got by with his awesome phone. Now, not everyone has an awesome phone, but again, microphone, some software, tinker with their settings, job done. You don't even need a camera. So that's fair.
Yep.
So don't invest
And
too much.
not even awesome phones. I'm now streaming with 4 broken iPhones.
Perfect.
This
all
is
you
an
need.
Perfect.
this is an iPhone 7.
No, really? Wow, it's actually great.
Yes.
I didn't even know
Yep.
it was an iPhone.
Better than my shitty $40 camera.
Yeah,
from the
there-
warehouse.
And the only reason I look shiny is because it's really hot and I'm drinking tea.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So what do you think is the most important aspect of streaming?
Authenticity.
Authenticity. There you go. All right. Perfect. Now I want to know, what is your funniest moment, Ben?
One that sticks out is actually one that, oh, no. Okay, forget that. It's not shooting myself in the face repeatedly with Lego missiles. It's not that. It was, so yesterday marked 1 year since Hawke's Bay, an area of New Zealand, had flooding from a cyclone. And it was really, really severe flooding.
Goodness.
Like, every bridge into town got taken out.
Yeah.
You know, hundreds of houses washed away, and like the entire community underwater.
How is this leading to the funniest moment, Whippy? Jeez.
Well, I was
Yes.
sitting here. I was
Goodness.
sitting here talking about how we were thinking about, you know, our resiliency.
Yeah.
What have we got going on here? And we're talking about, you know, getting solar panels, talking about you know, doing a better job of managing any rainwater trying to get onto our property if like the culverts behind our house were to try and flood and things like that.
Yeah.
And while I'm talking about this, everything around me starts shaking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah. And in Wellington, we're really used to earthquakes.
Yeah. It's
So
every 5 minutes, basically.
there's something now in our ear that's like, oh yeah, this is the 3.5, it's up to a 4 to 5. So I'm sitting there thinking, hey, this is about a 5.2 right now. And I'm going, of course we're having an earthquake. And then as soon as I say that, it goes boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, bye. Get up and take off into the hallway. The whole family's there. You can hear us on the stream going, oh my God, that's a big one. It was a 6 or something. Yeah, it was maybe like
Jeez.
6.1.
I'd have
Yeah.
to check.
Harry,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
glad the Legos are okay.
And I just, well, you could see everything shaking on screen. It was pretty out of it. And then I came back after the shaking had settled down, let everyone know, hey, we're okay, but I'm just going to go check and make sure everything's okay. Like,
Yeah,
you know, we
that's
haven't
fair.
burst water pipes or anything, nothing crazy is going on outside. So yeah, that timing though, you know, just sitting there talking about it,
Yeah.
it was next level and a little bit eerie.
This is the question I ask everyone, and it's definitely one I want to include all the time because I think it's super important for everyone out there who's a streamer or content creator. So regardless of how long we're going, I want this question answered. Take as much time as you need to answer it, okay? Do you ever feel bad about metrics? And if you do, how do you deal with those emotions?
I don't really do the social media promotion stuff very well. If I'm doing like a charity stream or if I'm participating in someone else's event, I'll go to the effort.
Yeah.
But I don't really promote my own streams. I won't post on Insta or anywhere and say, hey, look, I'm going live today and this is what I'm building. I probably should. Probably a much better investment of my time than some of the things that I spend doing. But what that means is that if I've gone to a little bit of effort for a particular stream and maybe only a couple of people turn up, because that still happens sometimes, I don't have an expectation of getting rated, but I would generally expect 2 or 3 raids during a stream, just because of the way the community works. And, you know, it might only be 2 or 3 people in a raid.
if you're doing
That's
like an
fine.
event,
Yeah.
It's like you put an effort into it. You would hope that people go, oh, that's a special thing.
And on those sorts of things, those are if it's a big event like that, then I'll post and make sure people are aware of it, and I'll talk about it in earlier streams so that people know to look out for it. But I do Easter eggs, so you'd be familiar with like the exclamation mark in a term, which then triggers something to happen on stream. I have over 100 Easter eggs hidden in stream, so that if you accidentally say a word, it'll play, and no one knows what they are. And for my notifications, I'll throw in a clue, so that you get the notification.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty.
It's a little bit of engagement.
I like that.
So one thing I try and look for is the engagement from that notification. And one time it was 0, and I nearly cried a little.
Oh, I feel it though. I feel it.
That one didn't land. But I mean, realistically, I don't think anyone is coming from those notifications anyway. Like, it is often single figure sort of numbers, which is great. It's helping. But yeah, especially like when you've done a month's worth of them and you put the clue out, and then no one clicks on it, and it's like, damn, But it's I'm not like obsessing over it. It's not keeping me up at night. It's like, okay, that wasn't so good. Try again next time. Maybe next time don't wait 2 minutes before stream to come up with that quirky little clue. Maybe plan it a little bit better.
I want to focus on that time where you said like you kind of wanted to cry a little bit. So how did you handle that in the moment?
Oh, I just went and watched something on Prime or something. Probably. It's like, okay, I need to disengage. I cannot look at this console anymore, this dashboard. I need to go do something else.
Fair. All right. Well, there you go. See, and everyone has different, like, I guess you say calming down rituals or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
methods.
Methods, exactly.
Oh yeah, no, mine is after stream, go watch a couple of hours of television.
Yeah.
And then probably stay up flicking through TikTok or Instagram for 4 hours until the sun comes up, and then I fall asleep.
Respect it. All right, well there you go.
Healthy.
That's a
very healthy.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's healthy. All right, I'm gonna shotgun around you real quick. All right, because we're coming to the end, so quick, concise answers. I may cut you off, and not as nicely as I was doing it before. Okay, so keep it short.
Sounds like my wife.
You can call me Mummy if you want. We're gonna quickly do it. All right. So, what are your short-term?
Sounds like my wife.
What are your short-term
goals? Stream more. Long-term goals, diversify.
Diversify what?
Into other platforms, other content,
Perfect.
Delivery streams.
All right. Sum up your streaming journey so far.
Well supported.
Well supported. That's awesome. And a lot of that comes from what you guys heard him talk about is networking. If you could change one thing about your stream right now, what would it be? Like money's not an option, time's not an option, whatever. You are perfectly set up. I snap my fingers, it changes. What would you do?
Get out of my garage.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I like that. I did not see that coming. For all you audio only listeners, he just tilted his camera to show the garage. The professional backdrop. I've been fooled.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to ask us?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be advice, or maybe you just want to hear our opinion on something. Whatever. Is there anything you want to ask us at all?
You're in the UK, aren't you? So, what does jammy Dodger taste like?
Have you ever had a short biscuit? Like shortbread?
Shortbread, yep. Yep.
Imagine like...
I was demanding it in my green room earlier from Santa.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. So imagine shortbread, but like softer and like slightly softer and... Well, actually, no, shortbread can be kind of soft. I guess it just depends how you've made it. I've had crispy and I've had kind of like slightly doughier ones, but basically it
Tends to
kinda
be
just-
very crumbly here.
yeah,
Tends to be
it's
very
crumbly.
crumbly.
crumbly. Yeah. So imagine like a shortbread taste, kind of with like some jamminess. That's what I would say.
Interesting.
I'm gonna crucified for that opinion. People are like,
It's
"What the
sounding
fuck
like
are
a
you talking
Shrewsbury to me.
about?"
Sounding like a Shrewsbury to me, Fanny. What do you reckon?
It sounds like Shrewsbury.
Yeah, I
But
don't
maybe
know.
less plasticky on the
Plasticky.
Oh, they're gross.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get crucified for that opinion. I feel it. I know I am.
You're not a native, so it's fine.
Thank God. Whippy, that's all the time we have today. But thank you so much for being a
Yeah.
guest. I want you to plug
Thank you
yourself
so much for having me.
one more
Hug
time.
myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't come prepared for that.
Oh well.
Hey,
Come and join us on our regular stream on Wednesdays. It's 7 p.m. New Zealand Daylight Time, which kind of translates to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
UK time.
yep.
There you go. What about for Americans?
Well, for the committed ones, for the Americans, it's roughly 4 p.m. Western,
Easy.
Okay. 4 p.m. Western.
4 p.m.
All right.
Pacific. Yeah.
Easy.
On a Tuesday,
Mm.
our Wednesday stream on your Tuesday, 4
Yeah.
p.m.
Okay.
Come hang out. We have a good time. We build, and those Easter eggs. If you're anything like us and you love movies from the 80s and 90s, you will love these Easter eggs.
Oh, I'm even worse.
Nostalgia. I'm nostalgia baiting you.
I might.
It's a
steal
product
this
of my
idea.
age.
I might
Go for it.
steal this idea. Do some Easter eggs. That seems really fun.
It's pretty hilarious,
And
especially when
Whippy-
someone unlocks one.
It's like WhippyWhipster. Remember, guys, that's the full name. We've been saying Whippy, but WhippyWhipster sounds or spelled just like it sounds. Only on
Just like it
Twitch
sounds.
currently, right? It's only on Twitch currently.
3 P's, 2 W's.
Three. Exactly. So what other platforms are you on as well?
Insta, but I'm never on there.
Yeah, but you said
Come-
you
come to
wanna-
Twitch.
You said you want
Come
to
to
Twitch
Twitch.
out, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
come
but
to
don't go
Twitch.
there yet. Don't go there yet.
Don't go there yet. Okay.
It's embarrassing.
But thank you so much again, Whippy. We appreciate you. And remember, my friends,
Thank you.
this is Faux The Streamers, Jazzy Faux, the Spanish Slam. This is our boy Whippy. We'll see who we have on next week. Thank you again to all of our Patreon subscribers. You help us keep the lights on and help us keep doing this. And if you know anyone else who you think would benefit from this information, make sure you go and send them a link, all right? But we love you all. Catch you in the next one in 2 weeks. You know how we do.